It was for a very long time a place that felt like it existed a little bit through like duct tape and magic and a prayer.
When you look at the Avalon Foundation mission, part of it is about building a stronger community, and part of it is about being a good steward to this historic property.
The Avalon Foundation has been on a long road to building ownership since the sort of mid-90s when it was divided into a commercial condominium.
The Avalon Foundation actually only owned what is now the Stoltz Listening Room. We didn't actually have enough share of the building to get a vote in the condominium association. So while the Avalon Foundation had the biggest stake in the future of the building, we really had no power or voice.
If the roof was leaking and it was over X amount of dollars, we had to go get approval and go through the process to get it fixed. So in the meanwhile, it could be a monsoon season and we could have flood, and not, kind of our hands were tied.
We had water intruding through the mortar into the plaster on the inside of the building. That's obviously something that pretty quickly leads to major structural problems, and we were really at that point where if it had gone on too much longer, it would have been too late.
As recently as when Cowboy Junkies was here, there were so many of our lights that weren't in operation at that point in time that we had real concerns about whether we were going to be able to make the show happen or not that day.
The lighting system was archaic at best. It took hours to prepare for any kind of show that was coming in. We had to, if there was a color change, we had to break out the old gels and cut them up, put them in, redirect lighting.
The upper balcony was a place where the row length was so shallow that your knees were jacked into the chair in front of you.
We would have to put so many seats on hold that we could not sell because of either the sight lines were an issue or the chairs themselves were just not in great condition. So we couldn't see people in these seats.
It was embarrassing for us to work here and to think about the handicap accessibility of the restrooms and really being able to serve our patrons. I think that was really tough for a long time.
There were members of our community that jumped in and saw the need and reacted to it and made it possible for us to stabilize. But there were still a lot of other parts of the building that we did not own. And so very slowly we went through a process of working with our neighbors and acquiring those other pieces.
And the work that Al and all the supporters and the board and everybody has done to improve it, it has been kind of a miracle. It's pretty miraculous how much support we've had for it and how fantastic it looked.
The people who decided to become stars several years ago and Second Century Fund have really done important work for the community, not just in terms of today and what we're doing now, but in terms of the stability and sustainability of the Avalon Foundation and its work into the future.
With all construction, there are setbacks and successes, and we certainly felt that on an ongoing basis.
I don't think what we did here was small in any way. I mean, it is certainly the biggest accomplishment that I have been a part of for the Avalon. I don't know what could be bigger in my career, to be very honest with you.
The moment you walk into the lobby, it's just such a welcoming feeling. Working at the box office for the shows, for the theater shows here, we see those faces come through the doors.
And then they walk in and they feel like they're transported back in time because this is what the theaters that they grew up going to used to look like. I find joy in showing people what we've done. If it weren't for the community, none of this could have happened.
I think that Willow Construction was so incredibly great to work with, and we had other really great contractors with Ral and other partners who were sitting around the table. So I think mostly working through the construction was sort of exciting.
It feels really great to be sitting here in the balcony with these wide chairs. Look at all my leg room.
It's beautiful upstairs in the balcony now. I'd love to sit up there now. When I come see a show here, I sit upstairs.
The lighting system that was installed, it's state of the art. It'll take us into the next century.
To have that lighting system up there, to, with all the haze and the colors and what it looks like on stage. It looks like you could be in any place in the world. And while we enjoyed it in the past and we were proud of it in the past, it didn't look like that, and now it does.
It's a very well thought out nod to the time and the era that the theater was built. I feel like the theater has been dressed up in the way that she always should have been. Like, she deserves this.
When you come in now, like, it's all bright in the, in the lobby. Like, it's not all dark and gloomy like how it was. So when you walk in, you're like, wow.
And it looks loved. You can see the support that this building has had through like the detail, if it's the Venetian plaster, the gold trim, the touches of wallpaper in the basement.
You really are reminded of it when you walk into those bathrooms. And that sounds like a crazy thing to say, but people love it. I think we should be serving drinks in the bathrooms tonight. You can do that now. And nobody can really do that. You can't do that anywhere.
I am also very happy to say that we went from having possibly the worst bathrooms in Easton to the best bathrooms in Easton.
It just looks so good.
The Avalon Theater, this building in particular, exists as a community gathering place. It's where a lot of people can come and feel safe and feel joy or feel something.
Yes, I'm a cog in the wheel and I get to make the magic happen too, but like it affects me too. So I go to the farmers market every Saturday. Like, the work of the Avalon Foundation is real and it's meaningful, and I believe in it.
My daughter has been not a people person, and with her coming into the camps with the Avalon and stuff like that, she has brought her confidence up.
So bringing the kids in and getting them excited and involved, not only in film, but then, hey, there's acting, or hey, there's music. I want to get involved in different aspects of art.
Come see a children's theater program. Come to the farmers market. Come out to the multicultural festival. Come to the plein air festival.
The near decade of work that I've put into putting all those real estate pieces together, I'm really happy to report can go back into arts administration again.
When we get this done, which is really going to happen, we're going to free up 2.5 employees to do more than we are currently doing now. And I don't mean just by adding concerts. I mean, we can try new style of events.
There are so many great and exciting programs and opportunities for the Avalon Foundation on the horizon. Our after-school art club is already well underway, and there have been 12 specifically chosen students who are participating in that after-school art club, and we're providing all of the supplies and real close mentorship with them.
We've been putting a lot of effort into managing a YouTube page, building up how we present video on social networks. And what we've been really excited about recently is venturing into live streaming.
We're excited about the fact that Coffee and Conversation was kind of a launching pad for further conversations throughout the year.
And even launching a plein air podcast, where we're not just talking about plein air Easton, we're talking about plein air painting on the whole and trying to use those media tools to community build.
The funders and the staff, we're in a whole new stratosphere in terms of the experience, enhancing the experience for potential and future customers. We're in a whole different world now, and I hope people celebrate that.
Every artist that comes in these four walls, they're so happy to be there. They love the theater. It has a feel that no one else does.
I really believe that we are a part of the reason why Easton and Talbot County is such a wonderful place to live. By the community supporting us, we can now continue to support the community, and I just want to thank everybody that helped make that possible.
Everybody should be extremely proud. It is wonderful, and to come in here, and so anybody who's involved with this, particularly the people who helped fund it.
I just feel so incredibly thankful for everybody who has been such an integral part of the Avalon Foundation's success, whether it was through the STARS campaign or Second Century, those who support our operations on an annual basis. And I just guess that I would hope that everybody continues to watch and feel excited and motivated by our work so that we can go out and use this brand new, beautiful facility and the great talent of our staff to go do more and do it better.
We're here tonight because of the incredible generosity of our Second Century Fund donors. To say that we are thankful is such a wild understatement. This project has been a real labor of love for a long time, and seeing it in a state of completion and the great potential that's unlocked as a result of that, I hope that everybody in this room really understands what a transformational thing that they have done and feels great pride in it.